President Cyril Ramaphosa says the symposium is key to government's effort to close the spending gap in the country. This gathering sees government, investors and other stakeholders in the sector put their heads together to come up with new initiatives and ideas to generate funding. The private sector is responsible for the lion's share of infrastructure funding. The President says to build business confidence and encourage investment, government is working on developing reforms in the sector.
Reforms include the amendment within our own realm of the Division of Revenue Act to enable, for instance, provincial governments to use their infrastructure grants, which they get from national government, and also their budget allocations, to crowd in the private sector finance for large social infrastructure, but also to open up opportunities for the private sector to participate alongside government in economic infrastructure that will be revenue generating. Now, these programs focus specifically on the social infrastructure with regard to health and education.
The value of projects currently in construction is over 230 billion rand, while projects worth 170 billion rand are currently in procurement. Are in the sanitation, transport, health and human settlement sectors. Ramaphosa says despite the predictions of doomsayers, reforms are starting to bear fruit.
And there's much more work that needs to be done. But the important thing is that our reforms are beginning to bear fruit. Our reforms are unblocking and unlocking a great deal of investment. And this is where I would say the tire hits the tar, because this is what matters most.
A construction book, the first of its kind in South Africa, is being published by Infrastructure South Africa. This first edition showcases 153 infrastructure projects across state-owned entities. These include Transnet Freight Rail, Transnet National Ports Authority, Airports Company South Africa, Eskom and SANRAL. Ramaphosa says this book demonstrates government's plans to drive economic development through the construction sector. Abra Barbia, SABC News, Parliament.